Hello, this is Kenny at the General Paintball Museum. I'm here today to talk to you about Tippmann's Model 98 and 98 Custom. These Model 98 was released in 1998 and featured the iconic grills. The 98 Custom released a couple years later. They did away with the grills. That is the visual difference, other than the actual name on the side of the gun, between the two. The Model 98 was not able to be customized easily, but it did have a lot of aftermarket accessories made for it. The 98 Custom addressed that need by adding the availability on the internal side to add accessories easily versus having to send them back to the factory as the Model 98 was. These are the worldwide best-selling paintball guns. They've been in production since 1998, and a variant is still in production today, as you can see on this work mat of the Platinum series. So these guns have been in production for many years. They made many accessories for them, pretty much endless at this point. You just had to make sure that you had Model 98 accessories if you have the Model 98. As for customs, accessories had to be made for a 98 Custom. The barrel is a different thread. It's a new thread compared to all of its predecessors. It is a coarse thread. It uses about 3 threads to thread in. It makes it easier not to get cross-threaded, and it comes off quickly. The feed necks on all of these, you would press down on the front sight, and the feed neck would drop off to the side. And if you had the gun cocked back, you could run a cable squeegee down it like all the previous models of Tippmann. The grips are panel grips, so you can change them out with different styles, panels or wraparound. Other accessories, we have a power feed that eliminates the bend in the feed neck. That was made by Armson. We have a rear velocity adjuster that would replace the rear cap and make it so you have a set screw to adjust spring tension. They actually made different springs that you could replace the internal spring for different velocity issues. Stainless steel body kit, bolt kit. These would replace the body bolts that hold the marker together. This marker, unlike all the other markers that Tippmann made, comes in half. So you remove the body bolts and the clamshell design will split in half. It takes a little more time, but it is a very durable, long-lasting design. As many other companies made, this one's a 32 degrees Model 98 O-ring kit. Here, Psycho Ballistics has the AFS for the Model 98, which turns it into a fully automatic marker. The kit mounts over the trigger, and a paddle on the back side of this would spin when you press the micro switch, and you can adjust the speed by this knob. That would trip the trigger through that electric motor and cause it to full auto fire at the speed you desire. It was a short-lived product because I believe the firearms, alcohol, and tobacco industry banned it because it is easy to modify to a real firearm. The EM98 kit, this one was for the Model 98, would fit and make a pneumatic ram and a low pressure regulator and a Noid to make it operate a little differently than the traditional blowbacks that it had seen in all Tippmann's other models, which would allow it to fire a lot more quicker. This one also has the VHS tape with it. The 98 Custom, again, is similar to the 98. It's just easier to add these accessories to it. Here is a 98 Custom that has had many of the aftermarket accessories added to it. This is what we call the E-bolt kit, which has the low pressure regulator built into the ASA, which feeds an electric Noid inside the grip panel, which feeds out to this ram, and then the ram hits the valve every time you hit this micro switch on the trigger, which makes the trigger pull much lighter than the traditional 3-pound trigger pull. It adds it into like 64 grams. And then this black box, which usually gives away the E-bolt system, which has a switch on the back, powers it all with a 9-volt battery. This kit here, you can see, is the low pressure valve that allows the gun to operate at a lower pressure. This is the vertical adapter that allows the regulator to be added, macro line to the ASA with a crossfire ramrod barrel. The Model 98, they also have stocks available for the 98 Custom and the Model 98. This is a 3-position stock. This one also is equipped with Tippmann's RT trigger. The RT trigger sets a cylinder behind the trigger. You can see the silver bar coming out there. And when you fire, extra air from the valve feeds into this little regulator screw and uses a cylinder to move the trigger for you. So if you put pressure on the trigger, it would fire for you. This was a hard kit to add to the Model 98, as you had to carve it into the body. The 98 Customs already have a slot carved into it for you, so you don't have to send it back to the factory. Also, having an air port for this to feed it was added in the 98 Custom. It had to be drilled in on the Model 98. The 98 Customs came factory with the availability to do that, as the Model 98s did not. They just had a blank. So that was nice for the Model 90 or the Model 98s to be upgraded to the Customs. Also, Tippmann releases the Tippmann flatline barrel system, which has a curved barrel and will put an arc on the ball, which gives it a backspin, which gives it an extra distance. Not popular with everybody, but it is the furthest shooting barrel on the market at the time. Many barrels were made, many different styles: rifled, straight rifled, smooth bore, brass, aluminum, steel. The possibilities are endless for these markers. This is one of our favorite markers. It's very customizable. Well, if you have any questions, comments, please let us know. Thank you for watching, and like us on Facebook and follow us. Thank you.